We are live. Well, hello, hello. Let's see if we have got a signal here. I got to wait until my YouTube channel comes. There it is. Good. There it is. Okay, we're good to go. The, you know what's funny? The 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 abalone shells are blurred. That odd. That means the camera's blurring,
No,
doesn't it?
no. It's focusing on you.
And blurring out. This is all blurred here. And then
It's washed out. It's not blurred.
no, I would say it's blurred.
Okay.
If you look closely. Let's see. Let's get into the chat here. We got a lot of cool chat stuff. Gotta pop it out and see video and sound good here, says Neil. Cool. Purge. Hey Purge. Nice to see you. Ting. Hello, Ting. Linda Sapicha. Neil Vids, Rope Sanders, Andrew Fenna, William Avery, Nathan Brown, and William Wyeth. Welcome, Zillerin, and congrats on becoming Snook. Appreciate your support. Tim Flaherty. Tim, I think I gave you a wrench. It just hasn't popped up yet. I did. We'll get there maybe if YouTube does its part. Let's see. Let me get down to the bottom here. Archibald. Hello, Archibald. Van Kransky, Fish Fan Link. Nice to see you. Yes, welcome, membership, Zillerin. We did a video this afternoon. See, what do we got? 31 in. Did a membership live stream this afternoon for people who are members of Patreon and members of YouTube and active staff on Discord. So it's kind of a special offering for people who have a special relationship to the Father Fish channel. Have I owned saltwater tanks? I have. I've actually owned quite a lot of them. In my shop, I had about 8, 16, 32, about 40 feet of tanks. Those are the acrylic systems that run 8, 10, 12 feet long that are sectioned off. I was 2 or 3. I think I was 3 high. Well, I don't remember, 2 or 3. And then I had 2 trays that were 4 foot by 8 foot and about 18 inches tall. So I've had quite a lot of salt water and was able to set the salt water up naturally using water and substrate from the Gulf of Mexico. So I was able to get it in and did it that way, and it was wonderful. Thank you, Raza. Appreciate it. I love warm hugs. That's very nice. What's a good nano for a shrimp tank? Or what do you use so the shrimp can breed? I think the critical thing is a food web because you need micro food. And the best way to do micro food is things like uh, uh, humic material that's breaking down. That's more their natural kind of food. And then no fish, because whatever fish you put in with them are going to eat the baby. So you don't want fish in there. Just had, what is, I don't know what William's talking about. Just had that on Fatherfish. Donna Rasa. Thank you. James Green. Thank you. You're very welcome. Melissa. Hello again. Always running wild. We need to get you a wrench, don't we? Let's do that.
Get a fish out of the tank. Your crown loach jumped up.
He did.
Yeah.
Wow, where is he?
It's right.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah.
He must have come out when I took the filter out.
It's big.
I'll bet he was in it. He looks okay. A little shocky.
Yeah, he's kind of.
He's a little shocky.
Yeah, he may or may not make it.
He's breathing. Huh. Wow. I think it'd be okay. Shall we show him? Let's see if we can show him. I'm going to move the camera. See how close we can get. I don't know if we can get close enough.
He's on the side.
Yeah, see him. There.
He's not looking very good.
Is he breathing?
I don't know.
Yes, he is. He is breathing. Wow. He was out just long enough to really kind of hit bottom. We'll see how it is. We'll keep an eye on him. See if he'll breathe enough to come back up. He was out for 5 to 10 minutes, probably. He must have been in the filter when I took. You know what? He was in the tube, I'll bet. Yep. We had a hang on the back filter on there, and I took it off because we weren't using it, and I wasn't thinking about the poor guy. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, I got a little. I think I have enough. Let's see if it'll stabilize here. Oh, that ain't bad. Pretty good. Let's see, it's 11 o'clock in Ireland. Going to bed, says Dastrones. Thank you for all you do. My Corys are breathing in my 8-month-old community tank. The fryer surviving in the tank. That's fabulous. That's really cool. Hard to do because the eggs tend to get eaten. Even the adults will eat their own eggs. So if you're getting hatching in there and keeping them going, that means you got pretty good food web in there for them to be able to hide out. Very cool. Good job, Dastrones. Bettas love to jump too. They do, but bettas only jump about 1 inch.
It just revived.
Did it?
It's now
It
swimming.
popped up. They swimming
Popped up
around
and
good.
it's correct and swimming.
Cool,
There it goes. It's
okay.
across the front, swimming around the tank.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought he'd make it. He was breathing okay. That was pretty good. And he hadn't been out long enough to dry out. So.
Little spook.
Spooked for sure, right.
That'll happen to me.
Let's see. Dang, want a set of a buck-tooth Tetra tank. They're hard to find. They are indeed. I've only had them once, actually. Good morning from Australia, says Sugar Eye. Peter Ferguson, still awake in Ireland, happily hanging out with you lot. Well, nice to have you with us. Let's get you a wrench, Peter. And Ryan Bro. Have 100 honey gourami fry. Wow. Oh, I love honey gourami. Such a nice little fish. I've not had them for a long time. I ought to try to get them. They're one of the gouramis that are pretty easy to keep. They don't seem to be subject to the same problems as the dwarf gouramis are. Jenny says, seems like I was just here. Indeed you were. And thank you, Jenny, for pushing me to do that Sunday afternoon uh, live stream. I think it'll be good. I'm excited about it now. It's something I've been wanting to do and wanting to do. And finally, we're off the dime and going to make it happen. So that's exciting. We're doing a 2 p.m. live stream for members of the Fatherfish channel. That's people who are YouTube members, Patreon members, or Discord staff. There were altogether about 200 such people. So we're doing something special for that group, and you can join. You can be a member as well. You sign up on YouTube or Patreon. We prefer Patreon, but it's really your call. And get involved on Discord to become staff, and you'll be able to join there too. Breejesh Sony, how do you do with thread algae and low tech aquarium? Lots of plants, nice 2-inch mud, 4-inch sand. Whoosh. Well, it's simple, really. Thread sand or thread algae or hair algae grows in long threads. It does not branch off. It just keeps growing one long thread and keeps going and going and going and going. And it may twist around and so forth. But if you grab it and pull it out, it will all come out. There may well be a little tiny piece left in there, which will grow and become a big piece and more. So you have to keep at this for a while. But after pulling it out for like every couple of days or once a week, getting as much as you can, just twist it around, twirl it around, pull it out, do whatever you can to manually get it out. In time, you'll get it all. It doesn't take all that long. Who was Danny is here. Hi, Danny. Kenny, rather. It's Danny Ken. Danny Ken, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Kenny King, how long do you own your aquatic fish store? I started it in about 20,000, about 2005, and it shut it down in 21, 22. So 15, 16 years, about that. But I was doing it in my home for several years before that. So altogether, probably 20 years. Atkins Nature Aquariums. Nice to see you, Atkins. Good to have you with us. Mick Videos from Jacksonville. Nice to have you here. Let's get you a wrench. Ta-da, ta-da. Doom Pie. Hello, Doom Pie. Who else is here? Jairus. Did I give you a wrench? I think I did. Caleb, I didn't. Caleb Zarok. My Oscar fish keeps pulling up the plants. What should I do? Well, I'll tell you what, the issue is that the Oscar, whether it happened since you've had him or before, has grown up to the level that he has more than likely in a bare tank. And so he simply doesn't tolerate anything. He's developed some bad habits. I've really not found it simple to change fish's habits. They tend to become quite ingrained in the fish, and the only way to really change them is to be kind of cruel and put them in a small bare tank for a period of time, but then that creates its own set of problems. By the way, how are these? Oh, they're hanging. Take a look and see if there are eggs on that rock, John. They're not. Oh, okay. The male's hanging there, though. I've got a pair of cichlids in this tank. Oh, that's the female. There's the male. I got a pair of cichlids in this tank. Big Central Americans. They're about 4 or 5 inches. in the planted tank, the one in back of me. And I've got some rocks. The purpose of the rock is to provide a nesting place for the cichlids. If you don't do that, they will dig. So one of the problems, the problem of digging, you can overcome by putting a flat rock in the tank. And usually that's adequate to resolve that issue because the only reason they dig is to try to get to hardscape, to try to get down to a rock or a hard something, a hard bottom that they can lay their eggs on. As the pulling plants up, probably putting him in with a number of other fish will resolve the issue because he'll be more interested in the other fish and they in him than in the plants. That'll kind of shift his attention away from the plants and toward other fish. My hunch is that he's doing it out of boredom and out of lack of anything else to do. So try to provide some alternative means of recreation and entertainment for him. And the best way to do that, of course, is with other fish. Now, with Oscars, you really can mix Oscars together, but don't do just two, do three. If you do two, then one of them beats the other one to death, unless it's a pair. If it's a pair, they'll spawn and generally will do pretty well if they're in, at least a 55-gallon tank. You don't want them in anything particularly smaller than that, unless they themselves are real little. Kenny's here. He's done lots of big fish, and he would have a better handle on that than me, likely. Let's see, Donito. Hello, Donito. So, yeah, give your Oscar some options. Give him something else to think about. Giras, thank you. That's very kind of you. Says, I love your, recently discovered you. I love your energy and passion for nature and natural aquarium setting. Thank you so much. We did a rant earlier today on the member stream, in which I talked about the absolute vital importance of food web or diversity in an aquarium as a way of being able to maintain the health of the aquarium. And it's really critical that you come to an understanding of that. One of the difficulties in the hobby is that there has been such an emphasis on keeping everything clean that we have driven away microbiology. The only thing that's permitted is bacteria to break down nitrates, in other words, the nitrate cycle. But there is a great deal more to that world than just nitrifying bacteria, a great deal more. In fact, that's only a tiny part of what the natural world has to offer. So it becomes important to maintain a wide range, a high diversity of natural environment in order to be able to keep a tank healthy. And the issue about healthiness is very simple, very simply, that the concern that so many have for parasites is overcome by a widely diverse environment of microbiology. The reason being that most of the microfauna that live in the world, in the environment, are themselves parasites. Now, that doesn't mean they all eat fish. A few do, most eat other parasites or other microbiota, other tiny little creatures. So if you have lots of them in your environment, when an ick parasite drops off of a fish and falls to the bottom, it may well be eaten right then. But once it lays its eggs and those 140 some odd babies begin to hatch, they're gobbled up. They don't make it, which is why you never see an ick infestation in nature. You only see it in a fish tank where the controls are no longer in place. And we'll have a sip of coffee over that. Yeah, Danica is we're talking about gold barbs. He says he keeps them with his discus in a 240-gallon community tank. That if you have not visited with Danny, he'll be on later this evening with Kenny rather. His name confuses. Danny can always his wife's name is Danny and he's Kenny. But Kenny will be on with his wife later this evening. I think at 9 o'clock. And you want to catch them. It's a wonderful show. And they have just magnificent tanks and many of them. And it's well worth just for that. You said not too much clean a tank. What's with cut plants? I don't understand the question, Swiss. Cut plants are simply stem plants that are being marketed. They're being collected by the farm or whatever and moved into tanks. They grow roots very, very quickly. Let's see, Savage, 125 is getting water damage. I was asking if you need another stand. It's hard to find. It might be better off getting a bigger tank with the stand. Yeah, you definitely, RC. You definitely need a bigger tank with the stand included. I agree absolutely. And then you can put the 125 under the new one on the bottom of the stand because it'll have two shelves. And that'll be perfect. So you want to get about a 300 for the top with the stand, and then put the 125 on below. And when you do that, you can make it into a sump so that you're flowing water between the two. That would be really quite nice. Yeah, your wife needs to become convinced that that's precisely what you need to do. Pacifico, sir, will gold barbs destroy a community tank? And thank you, Kenny, for answering that. They're really quite a nice fish, unusual for barbs. I might add, the barbs like the tiger barb are absolute terrorists. They're not friendly at all. I am in Salisbury, Maryland, which is about 20 miles from Ocean City, 25 miles or so from Assateague, just on the Delaware border. So I'm an hour from Dover, where Super Cichlids is located, and they're good friends. I get up there to visit with them as often as I can, and really need to begin doing some kind of streaming with them. But they close in late afternoon, so an evening stream would not be possible probably. But I need to talk to them about that. Swiss from Switzerland, nice to see you. Pacific Sir, did I do wrenches? I think I did. No, I didn't. Yeah, Pacific Sir, a wrench here. Passing wind. Bless me, Father, for I have sanded. I've laid down an impure portion of dirt on the bottom. I have, with meaning and intent, sanded the bottom with a cap. Well, bravo, bravo. You have the right technique, if the wrong attitude. Uh, Nevertheless, well done. It is, you make an important distinction there because So many people think of what we're doing as dirtying up or fouling a tank. And the reality is it's precisely the opposite. Clean, think of clean not as hospital sterile. In fact, that's a nice way to think of sterile because hospitals of late have come under fire for being hotbeds of very intransigent forms of bacteria that cannot be easily controlled with the techniques that are used in hospitals to create sterility. No matter how much killing you do, there will always be some pathogen or other that will survive your homicidal intent and thrive in the absence of anybody else around who can do them harm. So that becomes the problem. Trying to kill off everything only creates an environment in which the most virulent and the most dastardly, the most dangerous and destructive are able to survive. Now, why in the world would you want to do such a thing? That just seems aberrant and bizarre and destructive at the most fundamental level. Better to have all of those hundreds and hundreds of species of microbiota in your tank that are able to maintain their sweet disposition and chew up all the little bits of waste that fall down, break them down, keep everything clean. I mean, they are a janitorial staff of remarkable properties. They're able to keep clean what would otherwise be something you would have to be siphoning out daily, if not weekly. And you can do that naturally by having little microscopic creatures in there who live for that. They live for the very waste that you're sucking out of the tank. Now, here's the thing, by taking all that waste out of the tank, you're also taking all of the nutrients out of the tank, which is why it becomes impossible to raise plants because the plants need those nutrients. Now, I will grant you that having an inch or two of gravel in the bottom of your tank is problematic. It is indeed problematic. If you put some sand in there with it, you can resolve the issue and it'll resolve it long term. A better fix is to put about an inch of a very special preparation of soil. Now, I don't want you to get the idea we're talking about going out into the backyard and digging up a shovel full of dirt and throwing it in the tank and then dumping some sand on top of it. We absolutely are not recommending that you do that. If you do that, it probably will work out just fine. I mean, you can do that, and it really will not be, it will not do violence to your tank. But there is a better way. And the better way is to make sure that what is in that substrate is material that will be beneficial to the life of the system. So you want, for example, you want a lot of humic material. Humic material is the foundation of the microscopic world. Research has proven that the leaves of trees are the core of life in freshwater flowing water streams, creeks, rivers. The foundation of life in freshwater bodies are the leaves of trees. That's humic material. That's humus. That's a vegetable material that is breaking down in the water column. Rarely does it ever become so voluminous that it fouls the water. Typically, it simply does not. Now, I'm not recommending that you go out to your aspen or ash or oak tree or maple and pull a bunch of leaves off the branches and throw them in your fish tank. Do not do that. That will guarantee the death of everything in the tank if you do it in any volume at all. And the reason is those leaves contain sugars. And sugar is not only the worst thing you can put in your body, it is also the worst thing you can put in your fish tank because it creates an overabundance of nutrient, a radical overabundance that causes bacteria then to begin to flourish. That bacteria burns up oxygen, winds up creating so much CO2 that the fish begin to struggle and everything else with it. All of the microfauna, all of the animal microfauna are oxygen dependent. The microflora are CO2 dependent, but the microfauna, the animals have to have oxygen. Lacking that oxygen, they die. And so you create by putting live leaves in a tank, you create a cascade effect in which one thing after another begins to die. And as it does, it makes things worse and worse and worse. Now, here's what happens. When it reaches the point where everything is dead, nothing is left alive in there, then the worm begins to turn. And by that, I don't mean an actual worm. I mean that the biology of the system begins to change. And oxygen, which has been permeating that environment right along, but has been overwhelmed, begins to get control back because there's nothing left to break down. It's all broken down, it's all dead. And so oxygen begins to come in there and begins to consume those nutrients, what are in fact nutrients. And it were in time, and in really a very short time. It can happen in as short a time as a few days, typically a week. If a tank fouls and you get whatever's left alive in there out and let it sit, in 1 week, it's going to be back to totally perfectly normal. It will completely reverse itself. So it's not like it's the end of the world. It's just it's some people. David Noddy's talking about. Bunch of you talking about it here. It's kind of funny. Talking about the smell of a dead mysteries now. Oh my word! Yeah, there's not a whole lot that is nastier. It is awful, right? What I'll tell you, what's every bit as bad is any um, ostropod, any snail, any shellfish, anything that dies, has that same odor. It is one of the rankest odors in the world. And don't you know, it's rank in order to keep your little nose and hands away from it because it is virulent with bacteria that can cause you some fairly serious problems. Let's see. Somebody just shut down Bob Casey. He says, can't believe I'm just here. Started a 125 Father Fish Aquarium. 2 weeks. Can I start a resurrection jar in winter. I am in New Brunswick, Canada. Bobby, I don't know why somebody shut down. Maybe you did it yourself, but I'm reading your comment, and yes, you certainly can start a resurrection jar in winter. If you can get to some mulch, you may have to break through the ice to do it, but bring it up, put it in the jar, bring it in. When it warms up, everything will come right back to life. It's not dead. It's just in a state of being too cold to move. Uh, P. Diddy says, just started a resurrection jar of snails and other organisms. How do I know if they're okay in my tank? And how do I know that my fish won't get bacterial infections and die? Okay, P. Diddy, very good question. Did you notice the condition of the fish and other animals in the body of water that you got this material from? You should have looked at that. That's critical to be able to see what's happening in that body of water. You want to get material from a healthy body of water. So you want to make sure if there are little fish in there that they're doing well. There's nothing dead and rank hanging around the shoreline. The plants are growing, the water is fresh, there are no odors. If that is the case, then the material you get is conducive to creating that same environment in your aquarium. So, or snails and other organisms, by their nature, coming out of a healthy environment, are healthy for your tank. Keep in mind, we're not talking about one or two species of animal here. We're talking about hundreds, literally upwards of 1,000 different species of animals, microfauna, macrofauna, and bacteria coming into your tank. Literally thousands of species that are living in a harmonious balance. That's what you're bringing into your tank, is that harmonious balance of natural environment. If you can get your head wrapped around that, then you will realize that the natural world is not sick. It's not damaged. It's not unhealthy. We are told the lie all the time that we are polluting the earth. That is a lie. It is not true on any significant level at all. In point of fact, where there is pollution in third world countries where there's no attempt to control waste effluent into a water system, that pollution exists for a duration, for a certain distance in the flow of that water. Beyond a given point, the water is crystal clear and healthy again, perfectly so. It is in the nature of nature to maintain its health, to maintain its balance. How do you think nature has survived? By being sick and weak? By being at war with itself? By being subject to every polluting force that comes along? It is structured in such a way as to overcome all of these events. Pollution, unless you're talking about some kind of chemical death ray, pollution is nothing more than excess nutrition, excess nutrients. Where there are excess nutrients, they are consumed, and they're consumed to the point where they no longer exist. Now, that's not to say there are not certain areas that are foul. There most certainly are areas that are foul. As you reach out beyond that, the foul is converted into health. And left alone, the foul will be completely overcome and will be restored wholly, completely, and absolutely. And it only takes a reduction or cessation in the volume of pollutants that are going into that environment in order for it to regain its health. Here in our country and in most of Europe, in advanced countries that have made a serious effort to control effluents, we have water that is pristinely healthy. Most of the water in this country and in Europe is pristinely healthy water. It is not sick, disturbed, and dying water, regardless what various politicians and bureaucrats may want to tell you. They're simply saying that in order to maintain their own authority. It is not true. It is a lie. We are doing better and better and better and better and in overcoming polluting behavior as we become more technologically advanced. And sometimes there are missteps, you understand. I mean, we do create things that cause problems. More often than not, it's done by specious people, by dangerous people who do it more or less deliberately, or people who are so careless and so irresponsible as to actually create things that kill for the sake of killing. We are not a perfect species, and we need to learn to weed out the violent savages among us. And there are violent savages among us, to be sure, but they are not in control, at least not here, not now. They're trying as hard as they can and succeeding in some ways, but by God, we're going to get control of that too and drive them back into the hole they crawled out of. So, enough of that sermon. Where are we? CCAM Prime. We're talking about CCAM Prime, and we are vomiting a green fluid. Quite so. Couldn't agree more. CCAM Prime, CCAM Prime. Prime, I'm calling it crime, is absolutely critical if you're trying to maintain a sterile environment. Then you really need the killing agents that are involved in this and other similar products. It is a fool's errand because at a given point, you will fail and you will fail utterly. And when you do, everything is going to collapse. So don't start that way and you won't end up that way. Let's see. You know what's Atkins is talking about corals. There are areas in Australia and here on the east coast of the United States where coral has come back like gangbusters. In a matter of 20 years, whole coral reefs have been restored naturally because they again the changes in temperature, the effluents that caused the coral to die off has been reversed and they've been able to restore themselves. Russell Jones is saying lots of rivers in the UK are ecologically dead. I am willing to lay money on that not being true. I know that some of the best fishing in Europe is in rivers in the UK. there certainly are sections that are dead. And those typically are sections around industrial centers that have not been cleaned up adequately. But to say that the entire river is dead, I dare say, is simply not true. Do a little more research. Find out if I'm not right about that. If it were ecologically dead, there would be nothing left alive in it. And that is certainly not true. Carrie Cook. All I'm really saying here is that we are doing better and better with our environment. It's not going in the other direction. It's going. In point of fact, there is much less pollution today in our rivers, creeks, streams, and bays than there was 200 years ago. Think about that. 200 years ago, there was no concern whatsoever for the environment. 100 years ago, there was little or no concern for the environment. There has been now for 75 years, and major steps have been taken to correct problems, and it has in fact been effective. There are less pollutants in the air today than there were 50 years ago. So this whole business that we're going to hell in a handbasket is no, that's not true. We are doing well, we're doing better, and we can get even better. We are not 10 years from destroying the earth. In point of fact, that clock, if it exists at all, it's been pushed out 100, 200, probably 500 years or more. So I don't buy it. I really, really don't buy it. Is there anyone who can help me get water for the resurrection jar? I'm handicapped living in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge. Um, Momo is in Baton Rouge, I think. We have friends in Baton Rouge. I'm absolutely certain we can help you with that, Darlene. Jump on over to the Discord channel and put your request in there. I'll lay you dollars to know that somebody will show up in a matter of a day or two to help you get your resurrection jar going. Darlene Morris, please do that. Somebody post the link to our Discord channel. That would be great fun. How we doing time-wise? We've been here half an hour. Let's see. Babar Tahir, very true, Father Fish, took a course in environmental toxicology. I just lost. Yeah, just lost his comment. You know what I need to do? I need to put the timestamps in so I can see where I am. Oh dear. Somebody, if they know where that comment is, give me a timestamp for it. I'm not getting back to it. I'm back to 6:21, which is what, 10 minutes ago. I don't know where it was. Let me just go way back and see if I can find it. Okay, it's beyond. I'm back to the resurrection jar. Thomas Lytle, asked on Discord, didn't get much response. Why are my mollies above water? What in the world are you talking about? Why are my mollies above water? I cannot. Well, I know perfectly well why you didn't get much response. Because what you're saying is nonsensical. And then you have a link. All right, I'm going to click on the link. I'm going to be sorry I did. Oh, isn't this interesting? Can you guys see this? You probably can, because I don't know if I can even show this. That is, I do know what you're talking about. Let's see if I might be able to pull this up. Maybe there. No, not there. I don't have, let's see if I can get oh dear. Let's see. There is a link. Oh, here it is. Settings. That's not it. Hold on one second. I do want to show this. This is really pretty cool. Setting preset. Stop cam invite present preset. This is it. Slides, camera, video, share screen. There it is. That it right there. Okay. Now what? Now I'm gonna go back. Oh, am I there? Having trouble with getting to see if I can move this. Can't move it. I can't get to the bottom of the screen to click on it. Look at honestly. Yeah. Molly's above water. Well, the video ran out. I think I'm not only not going to be able to do this, I've now thoroughly screwed myself up so I can't get out of this. Window, entire screen, window. Let's try window. Huh. Entire screen. I get it. I need to get rid of that. Honestly. It's doing the background reset. Why did it do that and then take it away? I'm going to lose my mind here. I've created a monster. I can't get out of where I am. What in the world? All right, let's just shut it down. Changes you made may not be saved. Well, so be it. I'm back. Well, I didn't succeed in doing what I was trying to do. And I think I'm going to give it up. Restore chat. Okay, we got chat restored. Now we got to move the chat. Every time I start pushing buttons, I wind up getting myself in so much trouble. It's like I get tangled up. Okay, 6:30. I still want to find that. How are my hedgehogs? Oh, good. Thank you, Ladana. Hedgehogs are good. We've moved them into the warehouse where the girls are taking care of them. They're getting much better care now. They've had baths and they get clean litter, and they're being fed. And today I stopped in a local little pet shop, and the owner said he had a line on more. So we may be getting more, looking for more hedgehogs. I really want to get a colony of them going. Where was more carbon in the air when dinosaurs walked the planet? They took deep core samples and found hundreds of times more than we have today. Yeah, there were more there were more fires, there was more volcanic activity.
More dying
There,
plants.
there were more dying plants. That's right. There are many more plants and much more dying plants. We have more plants growing today on the earth that were growing on the earth 300 years ago when we came to this land. More plants today than have been here in 300 years. Why is that, do you suppose?
Farming.
It's partly because carbon emissions have increased, because it is carbon emissions that cause, and CO2 emissions that cause plants to grow. Without carbon in the air and CO2 in the air, plants die. So the more CO2 we put in the air, the more plant life there is. Now, clearly, there is a point of no return. Apparently, we are not even close to that point. So, more of the same, more of the environmental alarmists. The environmental alarmists are liars and frauds, and nothing that they say should be taken seriously. And this goes all the way back to the beginning. I give you Silent Spring. Those of you who know what that is, Silent Spring made the claim that the shells of birds, particularly hawks and eagles, were thinned to the point where the eggs could not survive by virtue of DDT pollution. Now, there was a huge hoopla over that when that was published back in the 50s, I believe, and efforts were made to control DDT. It was later determined by effective research that, in point of fact, the eagles and other hawks had their ranks decimated 50 years before that when they were hunted nearly to extinction back in the early part of the 1900s. And by the 1950s, they were staging a comeback. As it turns out, I was in college in Barberville, Kentucky in the late 1950s. There was a popular song, a mountain song. I don't remember the tune, but some of the lyrics were, "Ain't no flies on Jesus, 'cause he's sprayed with DDT." DDT was given by mothers to their children by the spoonful to rid them of intestinal parasites, worms, and so forth. There was never any demonstration that DDT was in any way even toxic. But you see, it was cheap, it was commonly available, it was enormously effective. It, of course, got the Panama Canal built, which would not have been built without it. It was a miracle. And just like other miracle drugs and miracle medications, it was repressed and outlawed. Why? Why indeed? Why indeed would that be the case? If you look deeply into the philosophy of the people who are promoting these kinds of efforts, you will discover that to a person, they believe the earth is grossly overpopulated by human beings. And therefore, that population must be reduced. So there you have it. All of these efforts to create fear, stress, anxiety, to rid us of the benefits of our advances, to take us back to a primitive time when people starved. All of these are simply efforts to reduce human population. As such, they are in fact evil. They are in fact demonic. And they need, in fact, to be rejected out of hand as vile, as immoral, as fundamentally opposed to the well being of the earth and of human beings on the earth. So, you want to know where I'm coming from? That's precisely where I'm coming from. And I base that on my understanding of the nature of creation and of the creation of existence created by a loving God. So it's Sunday. I can say loving God if I want. Delete the video link by Luke Lavish. Luke Lavish. Is it here? Where is it? I don't know. Luke Lavish. I don't know. If you give me a timestamp, I think I'm going to go down to the bottom. There's so much comment here. I can't keep up with all of it. And I'm not really going to try just too much. The Molly's thing. I was able to get over and look at it, and it's fascinating. It shows a very heavy plant growth on top of the tank, very thick, with fish sitting on top of the plants. Okay. Um, the fish are obviously not distressed sitting on top of the tank. It may be, although I think it's unlikely, that there is a reduction in oxygen in the water. I think it's more likely that they're just trying to get a little light, that they're living in the dark. They do not seem to be unhealthy. They do not seem to be stressed. And it's probably a safe place to be unless there are birds around to snag them. Fish, fish, fish are funny things, you guys. They're really funny things. Fish do strange things. That's certainly a strange thing. They're up and out of the water. My hunch is that they're doing it for perfectly healthy reasons. Um, I've seen things like that in nature, where when you get near something like that that's occurring in nature, they'll dart away. It's hard to see. It's hard to catch them in the act because they're very sensitive to what's around them. And if they think a bird's going to swoop down, they'll be back in the water instantly. But my hunch is they're doing it because they're deriving benefit probably from heat, from the sun. Um, they're staying wet. They're flopping around. The plants, of course, are wet, so they're not drying out. I doubt that it's got anything to do with breathing, with aspiration.
Maybe food.
Maybe food. No, I don't think so. It's possible. I mean, who knows? We need to interview the fish. We need we need to find out. We need a good fish whisperer to find out. That's what you need to do. You need to meditate on your mollies and try to develop some kind of relationship with them that will allow you to begin to understand why they're doing what they're doing. They clearly are not in trouble. And they're laying up there and then they'll flip back in the water and just go on about their business. So spend some time.
They're sunbathing.
They're sunbathing, right? Well, there you go. Funny stuff. Runoff into rivers from farms causes major pollution in rivers, Father Fish. Russell, it does not. Farmers are extremely sensitive to the use of things like fertilizers because they are profoundly expensive, as well as herbicides, which are used less and less and less by farmers because they affect the health of the crops. So you'll find, in point of fact, just the opposite is true. There was a period 50 years ago when farmers used very heavy pollutants and very heavy herbicides in order to produce crops. That is virtually non-existent today. It's very hard to find a farmer who puts any kind of herbicide. First of all, herbicides are controlled to such an extent that their life ends within hours of them being put on a plant. Any herbicide by federal law that is put on a plant to kill an insect within a matter of hours, that herbicide is no longer toxic. It loses its vitality. It breaks down. It's made to do so. So the notion that farmland is ruining pollution, now ruining rivers with pollution, the only way that really is true is if the soil is running off. And with more and more farms doing no-till farming, that's less and less the case. And it's more and more the case that natural farming of the type we're doing in our aquarium is becoming increasingly vital, increasingly important, increasingly practiced, even in very large farms, because it is less expensive and it is more productive. It's less labor intensive, it creates better harvests. So again, the fear tactics really have got to go and be replaced by this is what we can do to make things better. And we know a lot of those things and are developing more of them all the time. That's the message we need to get out, that we are better at what we're doing and getting better, not worse. We are not vile, violent, hateful, angry, destructive creatures seeking to tear everything down and destroy life. That simply is nonsense. Not to say there aren't such people. There clearly are. Where they exist, we need to root them out. We need to change their minds, beat them into submission if necessary, psychologically, of course. Get rid of those in positions of power who abuse their power. And God knows that needs to happen. Let's make sure it does. That's up to us to do. So if I go grab some mush and leaves from a healthy pond, I can throw that in my tank. Yeah, you can absolutely. Just don't do a lot of it, Taylor. Do a little bit. You don't want to do a lot because you don't want to overwhelm your system. Your system is not prepared to deal with a huge volume of nutrient. Do a little bit, and it will develop more ability, more biocapacity bio load, if you will, so that you can do a little more and then a little more. And eventually your tank will be able to handle a huge bio load. But don't expect it to do it right away. It has to grow into that. It has to develop. If you look at natural environments, they handle enormous bioloads. Huge volumes of nutrients are going into there. But the mass of biological material, of living matter that's in that converts all of that, is itself very substantial and has gotten that way over time by developing into it. And it reaches a kind of a maximum capacity where it's capable of dealing with whatever naturally and normally gets thrown at it. Now a storm can come along and wash a lot of that away. A hurricane, like a hurricane, some terrible storm can create havoc in a given area that will then take time to reestablish. So Erie saying, John, get up and earn your keep. You can't see John. Jenny says, you're right. Cornwall even sounds like the fish. I can't get out of where I am. What happened, says Savage. Carrie Cook. Carrie Cook, question marks. We'll give you a wrench, Carrie. Maybe you can get your questions answered. Let's see. Sugar and I, we lost him. Father Fish can allow distractive link postings. That's interesting. I'm not seeing any of it. I thank you guys for taking care of it all. This is precisely why I give wrenches to everybody. So a bad comment will not last 2 seconds. It'll be gone as quickly as it happens. Darboire says, can you say hello to my wife, Becky? She loves your program. Well, tell Becky, Becky. Hello, Becky. Love to see you. Thank you, dear. I do appreciate your loving my program. What a dear heart. You need to come over to Discord and just join the party. So, Deborah, thank you for that. I appreciate being able to say hi to your wife, Becky. She must be a dear lady to be so stricken. What is this? Strange comments here. I don't even know where any of them are coming from. Cherry shrimp taste nothing like cherries, says Cornwall.
Don't they eat very, very small
Do
shrimp?
you know what? Oh, yeah. Well, I was in, when I was in Haiti, they catch very tiny shrimp and they can them and they use them as seasoning. They have the most horrendous seafood flavor. It is utterly overpowering. A little bit of these shrimp in a dish will just cause your mouth to water. So yeah, little teeny tiny shrimp. They're wonderful in little teeny tiny bits. They tend to be powerful. And you're right, Cornwall. They taste nothing like cherries. Why does the picture of Father Fish look like Santa? It's the white beard stuff.
It's an illusion.
It's the way it's an illusion, right? Davos group. The Davos group is as bad as any fantastical evil council. Indeed, it is. It is, in fact, and that's become increasingly clear to increasing numbers of people to the point where they're in trouble, thank God, finally. Davos and the rest of the lot of these monsters who are trying to reduce the Earth's population by 90%. Yeah, and tax fish, right? Taxing our pets. I did a rant on that Wednesday, and we published it today. The rant is up today. So you can catch that all about how government has absolutely no business being involved in the relationship between human beings and nature. That is not what government is for. Government is to govern, if you will, the relationship between humans and their institutions, not to play God in the natural world. So I tried to make that case. I'm going to get thrown off this channel again. If I try hard enough, I will. The Father Cornwall method. 1 inch soil, 24 inches of concrete. Saves time on tank maintenance. You're such a twit, Cornwall. Honest to God. Funny, but a twit.
I think you have to use rebar plants.
Rebar. Yeah, you need to put the rebar in that concrete. Otherwise, it'll just crack. The inch or so, 20
The
inch
roots
concrete.
will crack.
Yeah, it won't work. It really won't work. Billy Bob, late here tonight. Thanks, Father Fisher, and all good people. Bit disoriented, new fish room. Oh, how wonderful. We need to see it. Make sure you post pics on Discord, Billy Bob. Love to see it. Shrimp like Brussels sprouts more than I do. Yeah, they probably do. I like Brussels sprouts. I grew Brussels sprouts
sick.
once. Hmm?
You're sick.
Oh, they're wonderful. I grew they're really neat the way they grow. They grow as little bulbs on the stem of the plant. The plant is thick, the stem, and these little bulbs grow out of it like tumors, like cancerous tumors, and they completely cover it. It's wonderful. Uh, Mud, hello, Mud. Cornwall, he called me a twit. You are. You know it. Erie, he loves you, Cornwall. It's obvious now. Zenon, whoever you are, I got to give you a wrench. With a name like that, you got it coming.
Show them the abalone you picked up.
The abalone. Yeah, we'll pick up. Yeah, a couple of people mentioned the abalone. Let's see. Z Nin Jatron Gamer. Z Nin Jatron Gamer. It's amazing how this all works with everyone having mod. Any other community would devolve into madness with people misusing it as soon as they get it. Goes to show you've got a good community. That's very kind of you. Um, Abalone, look at this. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at that. And you know what these are, of course. There's a living creature in here that has a big rubbery kind of foot, very strong foot, and they latch onto rocks, like, and they move along them like that,
Looks like
feeding.
Groot's armor.
Yeah, it's like a tuna. Yeah, and they breathe. They've got these little holes. See the holes? Can you see the holes right there? They suck in water and pump it back out. They pump water in and out through these holes, and that's how they breathe. Isn't that neat? Cool animal with this beautiful mother of pearl. I got these at Brenda's shop today. Got 3 of them. Real happy to get them. Abalone. All right. Mud says we'll be breeding fish in secret like the old weed grow rooms. Imagine SWAT raiding an illegal angel farm.
Fish prohibition.
Fish prohibition, right? Jonas. That is moderator. We got another wrench going here. Always room for one more wrench. Zio says, Father Fish told me to do that. I did indeed. Uh, boy, when it jumps, it jumps. Here we are. What is the Father Fish culture that was mentioned? Darlene, probably the supplement. Again, if you go to Discord, and if you can't figure out how to get there, go to fatherfish.fish. It's our website, fatherfish.fish. I think the very first link is the Discord channel. If not, it's the second one. And the first one is the store, but they're right at the top. Erie says, I came for the fish, stayed for the laughs. Very good. Very good. Victor C. Talking to Ross, I want to know what fish you keep. How we doing time-wise here? We're at 7 o'clock. We're going to be here for another hour, guys. Call your friends and tell them to come. How many we got? 126. A little short. That's all right. Somebody made the claim the other day that Father Fish must be a fraud because he has 200,000 subscribers and only 150 people in his live
That you're
stream.
using a bot.
That I was using a bot, right, to guard, which I'm not doing, by the way.
Wouldn't know how.
I tried once years ago. Actually, they've been thrown off. YouTube doesn't even permit them anymore. I don't think you can even get them. There used to be people doing that, selling it. I tried it once. I tried it when I was trying to get to something.
10 viewers.
Yeah, like 100. I don't remember. But what I noticed was you could get the numbers up, but they didn't pertain to anything. It was basically false. So it didn't make any sense to me because I wasn't really improving my channel by doing it. So I did it once and didn't do it again. But what I do now is occasionally I will take a video that's not performing well and I'll put it in what's it called, Google Ads, which will promote it to a lot of new people who would never otherwise see that video. And the response is 1 to 2% because it's not going to a select audience. It's going to a very non-select audience. So that would be kind of typical for like a tropical fish. If you took if you gave gift certificates to 100 people on the street to a fish store, one of them would come back in the store, maybe two, particularly if it required any kind of a significant expenditure. Like if you got 10% off on $100 order, one would come back, and that would be the one that has tropical fish. Most people don't because they tried and failed and they don't want to go back to it. So, what I'm planning to do when I become extraordinary wealthy is I'm going to give everybody a Father Fish tank and show them that they can succeed too. Anybody can, particularly those who have failed. Do you like my new ring? I just got this ring. Like, look at that sucker. Isn't that incredible? I saw that.
Tell them how much.
I paid $5 for that. Look at that. And it's handmade. Look at it. It's got these sides are folded in to wrap around that stone. I think it's very cool. I've never worn a ring like that before. I have this one, which was my father's ring, so it has a lot of history and memory and sentimental value to me. But this, I just thought it was really cool. So I call it my Gandalf ring. That's my magic ring that I use to grow fish with. Pointed at them like that. Francisco Ferreira says, my timing to send message to Father Fish is really bad today. Every time I say something, he's not reading the screen. Well, I read that, Francisco. So what do you got to say for yourself? Came for the fish, stayed for the laughs. I love it. Victor C. We did that. Turkey baster worked for the dragonfly larvae. Turkey basters are wonderful. I think Father Fish looks great without the beard, full of youth and luster. Thank you. I just got tired of the seediness. Doobie-doo, Stephanie. Method to growing veg, I think, sounds good. Has other streamers taking, Father Fish has other streamers taking notes. Yeah, but we don't have 500 people in here. You know, I think the reason is that we wouldn't be able to accommodate it very well. Right now, it's sort of a nice sized group. We've been up to 200. Um, I think part of the issue is I posted this yesterday, but unless you're already involved heavily, you don't learn about that. And once it goes live, it only goes out to certain subscribers anyway. What's interesting to me today is how few new people are seeing it. So something has happened to the algorithm. It's not putting it out to a lot of new people. Grow your own dope, plant a politician. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Z, call you Z. Schmedda. What is the minimum size for a shrimp tank? You know what? You could grow shrimp in a quart jar. Absolutely could. Put a lot of plants in it so they can climb around. Here's the thing that's important to understand about shrimp. Shrimp do not swim. They don't. They crawl. They don't swim. They can dart, but that's not swimming. They cannot hang in the air, in other words, or hang up in the water column. They will fall to the bottom. They don't have an air bladder. Who in the world is calling me? Michelle Patterson. Mish Patterson. Father Fish.
Bother you, Father Fish. I have a quick question. You told me to change my water 25% every other day for a week. When I do that, am I supposed to be adding the chlorine tablets in with it?
Well, you don't want to put chlorine in the water, so at some point you need to get the chlorine out. Either put the water in a container and put the chlorine tab in, or you can throw it in the tank as you're putting the water in.
Okay.
Why did I tell you to do that? By the way, to be perfectly fair, we're on live right now, and you are being heard by 10,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, really. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually 129, but I like to think big.
How much is it?
129 people watching.
Okay.
So they're hearing this conversation. So why did I tell you to do water changes?
Not all your kids in the plants started dying. And my fish started dying too.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah, we tried to diagnose that, and the best we could come up with was changing the water column.
Okay.
So that's what you're doing, and you want to know about putting the chlorine tabs in. Yeah, if you have a container, you can put the water in first and put the chlorine in that, or you can spray it. You have free chlorine, do you? Do you know? as opposed to
All I have is
chloramine?
the little crystal things that you
No,
gave
no,
me
no,
and the
no.
kid.
I mean the water coming out of your tap.
What about it? I'm sorry.
It has chlorine.
Yeah, you can practically smell it.
Does it have chloramine?
I'm not sure.
Aha. Okay, so here's what you better do.
I do
Tomorrow,
use a filter though.
what kind of, like a charcoal filter?
The Pure is called Pure PUR water filter that we
Pura.
connect.
Yeah, that's a carbon filter. That's good. That's
Yes.
fine. Yeah, and that'll take the chlorine out. It should,
Okay.
but it sounds like it's not. So here's what you need to do. Get a
Uh-huh.
container, like
Uh-huh.
5 gallon, like a 5 gallon bucket. Fill it up, throw some of the crystals in there, and then don't put that water in there until the next day. In the meantime, tomorrow, call the water company and find out what they're putting in the water.
Okay.
And here's the thing. If they are putting ammonia and chlorine to create chloramine, then you absolutely must treat that water or it will kill your fish. So you might suggest to them, if they're doing that, which they're probably not. There are fewer and fewer municipalities doing it because it's toxic to humans. It's really a completely ethically and morally irresponsible
So would they
thing
even
to do.
tell me?
Well, yeah, they're required by law to tell you.
Okay.
They
Okay.
have to. And if it is, tell them that you just go off on them. Just
What
get
do I treat it with if it is?
the same thing, just add more.
Okay.
Just-
See, that's what I was afraid of because I'm changing the water only 25% every day. I'm like, do I keep putting in these crystals each
Yeah,
time I add more
absolutely.
water?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't put too much
No,
in.
you won't. You can't.
Okay.
You cannot overdose. It's sodium thiosulfate, which is salt.
Okay. Good.
You really can't overdose with it. Not in
Oh,
small
okay.
portions.
The next question is the plants that you send me, are they all supposed to be planted into the dirt, into the sand? I mean,
Only
I know
into
there's
this.
2
Oh,
inches sand.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay,
Back up a
sorry.
little bit here.
Uh-huh.
Into the sand. Are you pushing them all the way down to the dirt?
No, just inch into the sand.
Okay, that's fine. Yes.
I didn't know if they were all supposed to go into the sand, or some were floating, or some supposed to be glued to
These,
the wood.
well, these are all the stem plant bag.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're all
Yes,
stem
that's it.
plants. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
So,
said stem plant, so I assumed so. I just didn't
right.
want to.
Yeah, they all go into the sand. 1 inch into the
Okay.
sand. That's right.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Say goodbye.
That's it then. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye bye, sweetie. That was Michelle from Texas. Can I breed angelfish? Somebody says. Don't know. Don't know. But probably. Oh, yeah. Gary says easy to catch shrimp. Put the net behind them. They always start backward. That's right. That's how you catch them. Rope sander. All right, here we go. Keep going. Hello, caller, Gary says. 132 watching. Yeah, it's up. Good. A little bit. Sometimes water changes are necessary. He was running into a problem. We really couldn't dope it out. It is possible that her problem is she has chloramine in her water. If that's the case, that could be causing the problem she's having. This looks so weird. There. Ah, the microphone is on my body. Where is it? It's right there. It's attached to my lapel. And I think it works. I like it because it keeps you from having to project out to the microphone like that. I don't have to do that anymore. Now I can talk pretty normally with a relatively normal voice. and be heard.
Now if we could just get the rest straight, the rest.
Oh, well. One thing at a time. Cinderella. Oh, it's after 12 here, he says. You're going to be a pumpkin. That's good. That's good. Take a picture. Mike Ox Small has a link. I don't want to know. There's another link. It's the same link. It's a YouTube. Must be Mike Ox Small's channel because it's a YouTube link. That's fair. We let people do that. We're learning too, said Janet. Yes, we are, says Father Fish. Victor, end of first quarter. Oh, KCOSFO, end of first quarter. 0-0. We're getting updates on the game. Well, all right. Tight game, tight game. Sounds like a defense game. Okay, that's the third time you posted this, I think, or is it not? Maybe I'm just, no, it's twice. Okay. You may not post again, Mike. One time is adequate. Oh, it's a different, is it different? It is. He's posting different things. Somebody check on this, see what he's posting. Score on the game. We just did that. Neil's asking about commercials. Ray's Fish Room. Not bad tonight going against Super Bowl. That's what it is. That's why our numbers are down. We're up against the Super Bowl. Right.
Absolutely.
Listen.
These people prefer fish to football.
Right. Listen, we got 134 and in 138. It just went up. Must be cool. Yeah, it's probably it's quarter time. It's not halftime yet. At halftime, it'll go up 100. You watch. Billy Bob got some shrimp and a pickle. Big pickle, just 3 weeks so far. Ghost shrimp, nice substrate, 5 different plants, regular little changes for another tank. New experiment. A pickle jar. Oh, a big pickle jar. Gallon jar. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I can't. Where's the picture? Where's the picture?
Underneath.
I got to show you this. I got a picture. Can you see it? You can see it, but you can't tell what it is. Oh. By the way, ooh, look what I got today. I got a Kool-Aid pitcher. Is that a Kool-Aid pitcher?
I think so.
I got a Kool-Aid pitcher. I'm going to put a betta in it. That's my betta.
And what was the
Betta bowl.
extraordinarily high amount you paid for it?
Yeah, I paid $5 for that, I think. Was it? I don't remember. Maybe it was one. No, I paid $1 for it. That's right. $1. Do you believe it? Not the same place I got the ring, mind you.
Not even Walmart would have it for $1.
I know. It would be 10 at Walmart. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Now watch me break it. Where can I put it? Oh, let's put it here. And we'll move
Wait, you haven't shown the
Nemo
fish.
over here.
Show
There.
the fish.
No, they haven't seen Nemo yet. There's Nemo. Whoa, stand up, Nemo. We ought to put him in here. Can we do this? Try it like this. That won't work. That won't work either. Can I get it upright? I had one of these on a stand, and the first thing I did was break it. I'm going to break him now. Look at that. Is that cool or what? Can I see it? Yeah, let's bring it up here. I think it's neat. We got to figure out a way to do that. There we go. Nemo. Ah,
Where Nemo came from.
where'd Nemo come from? Oh, yeah, we went over to Ocean City and met this delightful woman. What was her name? Do you remember? No.
Silver jewelry store.
Yeah, silver jewelry store is in there. It was $15, I think. Yeah, $15. What was her name? I don't remember. Annette, I think. No, I don't remember. Cornwall says Father Fish got more ladies calling him than me. Listen, listen. I get it all day long. All day long. I'm here to tell you. The ladies won't leave me alone. And I love it. Mercy. It's all I got left is the joy. Oh, everyone check out Ants Canada. Ants Canada is hands down the best nature channel on YouTube. Hands down. This kid is astounding. He has made, get this, he does ants. And he does it, I can't even describe how he does it. He does it like what? He does it like a child talking about his ants. And it's really sweet and it's really cute. And he has made so much money doing this that he went to the Philippines and built a 10,000 square foot ant house to live in with his ants. Honestly, he did this. And he showed the construction of it. And it's utterly amazing. Just talk about a vision, miraculous vision. So he used to be in Canada. He's now in the Philippines doing fancy ants, I guess. But it's a wonderful channel. Do check it out, Ants Canada. Really a very cool channel. It is awesome. It is indeed. Abalone Lou O'Sullivan and the test tube setup, whatever that's all about. Okay, need to get a wrench going here. How we doing? We got half an hour left. Drazzy, here they come. They're coming in now. Look at this. They're pouring in. 137. Bunch of them. Moderator, get all these mods. Now, you're being benefited. You are being gifted a blue wrench. If you would like to keep the blue wrench, you need to get on the Fatherfish channel and sign up. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. You won't have it the next time you come back. Use it or lose it. That's it. So, Rose, giving you a wrench right now. It may take YouTube a minute to get it to you. You say, in search of advice, I bought a used tank with aqua soil in it that has plant matter, etc., and dried up shrimp snails. How can I start this tank over freshly? Do I have to sanitize it at all if possible? Delighted you asked this, Rose. Here's what you do. You can go to the beach or to your swimming pool supply store.
But not your saltwater beach.
Yeah, you can go to a saltwater beach. You just have to go up on the beach and get what size tank? Don't know what size tank. Get a pound of sand for every gallon of water. So if it's a 50-gallon tank, get a 50-pound bag of sand. Before you do anything else, do not touch the aqua soil. Leave it absolutely alone. Get the sand, pour the sand on top of the aqua soil. You want 2 inches of sand on top of the aqua soil. Then very carefully put a plastic bag or a bowl or a pitcher like this one in your tank, put the hose in it, and fill the tank without disturbing the sand. You must not disturb even one grain of sand. Do that. Hook up a sponge filter, plant some plants, and then tomorrow add 3 to 5 little fish. And you'll be good to go. Within a week, you can begin to develop a food web. And to do that, you will need to do a little bit of research. But basically, what you have already is the makings of a very healthy tank. You just need to get that separated from the water column so the plants can benefit from it and the detritus being created can sift into it without it affecting the water column. You want that water column to remain pristine. By adding the food web, it begins to build the water column in a way that is healthy. So you're in really good shape, Rose. I hope you haven't thrown out that aqua soil and plant matter and whatever. Cap it with sand, fill it with water, plant it with plants, put a couple of fish in, do all of that right away.
And don't wash the aqua soil.
Don't do a thing to the aqua soil. Don't do one thing to it other than cover it up with sand and then add water. And you will be amazed how wonderful that tank will become. 52-yard pass, complete Kansas City on the 10. The ants. I'll meet my family. Oh, really? Thank you, Jenny. Oh, is that right? Ah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, I'm going to let it go. Just don't want to see it again. How do I transfer my fish from a 10-gallon to a new 55?
Usually use a net.
Do I have to add them a few at a time? Yeah, you want to do it a few at a time. If it's a brand new tank, you need to break it in. And that means building up the biomass slowly. Don't throw all your fish into a brand new tank because it'll create stress. Put a few in, let it build, a week later, a few more, and so forth. You probably don't have that many in the 10. So you might be able to I would put 2 or 3 in just to see how it does. And then if it does fine, everything's okay, try 2 or 3 more. Just do everything with patience and gentle. Be gentle and be patient. That's all you need to do. To keep fish, be gentle, be patient, and be observant. And it'll all work out. Kind of put soil over the rock, then put the sand over. You can do that. I don't know why you would, but you could do that. That's Peace, Love, Puppies. Needs a wrench. And moderator. Where did I see Peace, Love, Puppies? That was in the Wednesday night stream. And yeah, that's where it was. And see, you didn't get to keep your wrench that I gave you then because you didn't sign up to be a subscriber on Father Fish. If you're not a subscriber, you lose all benefits, all benefits. You get no benefits at all. So you want to subscribe in order to keep the benefits I give you with this hand. I give you these benefits. Are you going to simply cast them aside as though they were nothing, nothing at all, as though all I have to give you is as nothing to you? You wouldn't do that now, would you? Oh no, Oh no. Father Fish. Hi the unto Father Fish. And click on little buttons that make you a subscriber. One of 200,015. No, 215,000. That's a small group when you consider there are a billion YouTube viewers. That's a tiny, tiny little
Think how much
portion.
you can grow.
So you will be a big fish in a little pond. And you can get bigger if you create a natural environment
With a wrench.
with a wrench. Right? With a wrench. You know what I forgot? The sandbell. I haven't been able to find it. I think it's out in the greenhouse. I think we got to go to the greenhouse and find the sandbell. Landy Carlson needs a wrench and has a question. So we're going to see what the question is here. I want to start a fish tank using the natural way. Do you still use a filter? Yes, I use a sponge filter. I watched some of your videos. One had a hanging filter, but in the other videos, I didn't see one. I had a hanging filter on this 53, and I got rid of it because it's a piece of junk. I've got a sponge filter in there. I turned it off because the pump is so loud it's distracting. So we'll get it plugged back in when we finish. So while we're doing this, we set up the cube Friday, Saturday.
3 days ago.
Well, you're saying 3 days ago. Did we actually?
This is the third day.
So Friday. Friday we put the dirt and the sand in and water. Yesterday we put the hardscape in and some plants. And today is day 3. We're supposed to put a fish in it, but I think I'm getting fish either tomorrow or Tuesday. Need to call Andre and find out if we're getting them. So that means calling in the morning. I don't want to call him now. He won't answer the phone anyway. We're supposed to get a mess of fish. So I should have fish for that tank. What I really want to do is put, I think, John suggested shrimp, which maybe is a good idea because I've never done a shrimp tank and people are always asking me about shrimp. So we'll try to do a shrimp tank there. I'm tangling up the wires here. Peace, love, puppies. I love you. I like and subscribe. I've been obsessively watching your videos. I'm surprised you don't call me a stalker. I call stalkers lovers. I do. Because they are. I mean, why would one stalk if one were not in love? Call it what you will. It is still in love. It may be obtuse. It may be undesired. It may be uncalled for. But we are a strange lot, we humans. I want to start. Yeah, we did that. Okay, very good. Thank you, Landy, for that. Momo is here. Hey, Momo. Just got through talking to a new reptile and fish rescue that's starting here. They're coming to see me next week. Learn to set up tanks for low maintenance. Wonderful. And to also get plants. All right. Momo's going to be doing plants. I'm setting her some plants soon, and she's going to be growing plants down there in the in the bayous of Louisiana. I think it's Louisiana or Mississippi, or one of those places in the bayous. In any case, are you Cajun, Mama? I need Cajun. I lost my last Cajun friend. I need a Cajun cook. This is not. It's having trouble standing up. I wonder if the table's crooked. David Boylan. It started a brand new dirted tank. is it normal for quarter-sized bubbles to come up several times during the day, causing plants to come loose? That's a little unusual
How much sand?
for plants. Yeah, I don't know why they should be coming loose. John wants to know how much sand you have in there. The bubbles are not unusual. In fact, that's pretty standard. I've never seen them release plants though. That I don't understand. Um, your plant should be deep enough that that can't happen. What else? Shrimp and micro rasbora. Ryan suggests any kind of fish is going to eat the baby shrimp. So I don't think I want to do that. Snails, maybe. Victor C has had me giggling along in the background the whole stream. Victor, you go, Victor. Do you use individual heaters on all tanks? I do. I have individual heaters on every tank. I don't have a central system. I'm probably going to wind up with one in my plant room, but I probably won't have one here. It depends how it gets built out. I'm planning to put a wall of tanks on either side of the window, here and here. So if I do that, I may be able to tie them together. We'll just have to see how it goes. One of the problems with doing that is water on the floor. And I think I'd like to avoid that because I'll mess up the wood floor and the rug and everything. So I probably won't. Peace Love Puppies just joined Patreon. Bravo. Let's see. Louisiana, Mama says, right. Mama just retracted her posts. Have you seen the video? The link about me. Here's the link. Fatherfish about you, Lou O'Sullivan. Do I want to watch it? Have you seen the video? Here's the link. No, I don't know if I have or not. I'm not going to click on it. They aren't haters, they're jello lovers. Ha. Whatever that pertains to. Sonia Hedrick needs a wrench. Number one. And number two has a query, which is I have a 75-gallon tall tank that I put aqua soil in and capped it with sand. Not nearly enough. Sadly, everything in the tank got covered with blackbeard algae, and everything in the tank died. Yeah, you had too much nutrient in the water because the sand cap was inadequate. That's really the purpose of the sand cap, is to keep nutrients out of the water column and allow the nutrients that are in the detritus to sift down into the sand and thereby be removed from the water column. So the whole principle is that the only nutrients in the water column are those created by the fish, and there need to then be sufficient plants of either floating plants or plants like anubias that take nutrients out of the water column to be able to draw those nutrients down that the fish are creating. So that's kind of the whole idea. So the purpose of this system is to keep that water column as pure as possible. And that's impossible to do with gravel, you see, because it's all right there. The water is flowing through the gravel, so it becomes infused with whatever waste is in there. Yeah, which does even more of that with undergravel. Johnson was talking about the undergravel. Yeah, that seemed like a brilliant thing at the time, until we realized it was a completely ignorant thing. So funny the way that works. Should I empty everything out and start over, Sonia? No, not at all. Just add another inch, inch and a half of sand, and you'll be good to go. That's all you need to do. Stacy wants to know if you started with dry dirt. I started this one with dry dirt, and I did it deliberately to see if there was going to be a problem. There was none. But you can also tell I've got probably 3 inches of sand in there, a little better than 2 inches. So I did a serious job of capping it, and that dirt is not working its way up yet, not in 2 days. It will, but it's not yet. Where are we? Where are we at? 15 minutes. 10-gallon pack of supplement would be a cool giveaway gift. Yeah, actually, 10-gallon pack. That would be a thimble full. A 10-gallon would be a half a cup. I could do a giveaway. I could do giveaways. I could do that. I hadn't thought about it, but I could do that. Multi-tank syndrome, says Rose. Yeah, don't we all? Bell, bell, bell. Yeah, I need to get the
There's
bell.
no cure for it. Multi-tank syndrome.
No, it's true. It's a terminal disease. But it terminates in having a room full of fish tanks
And fish.
and
plants.
fish. It's wonder. It's a wonder. It is a wonder. Wonderful, wonderful. Giveaways. I think about this. We need to get Joey back up here and choose the giveaway queen. AI, it is 20. So what? Oh, what's the score, by the way? Did they get the touchdown? Don't know. Lou Sullivan, AI. Dooby doo. Oh, oh, that's what it was. It was the goldfish apology video. This is a young man who is trying as hard as he can to be friendly and to join in, and he doesn't understand how completely overbearing he is. He just doesn't understand. And we're trying as hard as we can to beat him into submission, and he won't be beaten. So I think he's going to probably be another Elon Musk, be an absolute genius, doing his own thing his own way, and ruling the world.
Father, your mother.
Either that or he'll wind up in jail, or both. He's a sweet boy, though. He really is. I really like him a lot. I just wish. I don't know. It's the strangest thing. There have been several young men who I've tried to whip into shape, and I've been manifestly a failure at doing it, an utter failure, and probably have not done them any good in the process. We want the bell. I want the bell too. We got to get the bell. A random drawing. I'll do it. I got to figure it out. Grandbaby betta fish died in her 5-gallon tank, so I drained the whole tank. Not sure why it died. Want to restock the tank. Has so much gravel and there's a sand already. Should I remove some? Sure, Rose. Remove some. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's 5-gallon tank. Whatever it is, it's too deep. Oy. How to get rid of black algae? I have a very simple solution for getting rid of black algae. You need to meditate on it long enough to begin to appreciate it, because it is perverse. And the minute you begin to like it, it will shrivel up and go away. It'll do it. I guarantee it. Try it and see if I'm not right. reduce nitrates, reduce feeding, do a little bit of water change. Your nitrates are way too high. Add plants, add more plants. That's the issue. But the reality is, it's only there for a short time. It rarely, if ever, stays in the tank over a long period of time. It'll be there for a month or two, 3 or 4, and then be gone because it'll control the nitrates. It only comes in when nitrates reach a certain level of like 250 to 300. Then you'll get it, and it'll draw them down to the point where it'll virtually melt away. It'll just disappear. So it's not a permanent condition. And if all of your fish are dying, it is not the black algae that's killing them. Algae will not kill fish. It's not toxic on any level in any way at all. There's something else that has killed the fish, and it may simply be that your nitrate level has gotten too high. A little hard to believe that's even possible, but it's conceivable. Other than that, you're probably overfeeding, and that'll kill fish every time like clockwork. Oh, Rose says it's got a gallon of water in it. 5 gallon tank with 4 gallons of substrate and a gallon of water. Yeah, I would take some out. I think what I would do, frankly, is dump it. Just be done with it. Then put a little dusting, a quarter to a half inch of like peat moss on the bottom, and an inch of sand on top of that, and kick it off. Start doing a food web in it. That'll be perfect. All right. How we getting on here? We got about 10 minutes. Paul Wyman, football and fish night. At San Francisco 9, KC 0. 49ers are now at 10 to 0. They got a field. How'd they get from 9 to 10? How do you do that exactly? I guess they kicked a field goal. The nine must have been 6 plus 3. So they got a field goal, a touchdown, and then got the point after. So they're at 10 in the first half. 10 to 0 in the first half. Can I add a fighter fish with an Oscar fish? You certainly can. The fighter fish, I assume, is a betta. You can do that. In time, the Oscar will grow large enough to make a meal out of the fighter fish. So you will then wind up with an Oscar full of fighter fish. Guaranteed. No, I wouldn't do that. I would not mix the two. It's a bad combination. Not so much for the Oscar as for the betta. If a betta is what you're talking about, when you say fighter fish, she may be talking about just a mean fish. So a fighter fish with an Oscar, if it's a mean fish, you could try that. Although my recommendation is to never put two pugnacious fish together. Always add a third, because the third will mix it up. And then they need to be in a tank large enough to be able to achieve escape. The word is not velocity. It's not escape velocity. It is escape duration. It is escape distance. And the distance is in a large tank 2 feet. But with smaller fish, it could be 1 foot. So that once the chase is on and the fish being chased gets a foot away from the chaser will stop chasing. So the chase only occurs within a given range. If your tank is big enough, then the chasee can get out of range and it'll be safe. but you want to always have three or more. Or more is better, but certainly three. Yeah, I see it now. I see it now. That's what Irer was talking about. It's the boots. I see the boots. When he said John was loafing, we see John's boots. That's what it is. Oh, yeah. He said that would be something if John's feet just started lifting slowly up and then out of the frame, right? Like he's gone to heaven. Judea Absalom, Abu Salam. So it's going to be a fish war. That's right. Yep, it'll be a fish war. Can a betta live with guppies? Absolutely. You may not, the baby guppies might not survive because the betta will be sure to eat whatever it can catch. But the guppies will not hurt the betta, and the betta will not chase the guppies. So, yeah, that's a good mix. You can do that. Do. Betta are usually okay as long as there's no other aggressive fish. Yeah, bettas can get beaten up. Anything that's aggressive will tear it up. They're mean toward other bettas, but nothing else. I've never seen a betta chase anything other than another betta. Will often nip at guppies. Not all bettas can catch guppies, says the expert in such matters, Rope Sander. Dan Yan, thanks. Neil Vids. I thought John Shoe was a cat's tail in the beginning. Strange. My betta fin nipped. My betta fin nipped. That's what it is. And Rope Sanders says, so did I, Neil. That was the cat tail thing. Stacy, it's worth it. He recommended more sand with Oscar. Certain plants they won't eat or dig as much, and big rocks, so they stop digging. You got all that right. That's good, Stacy. That helps. Stephanie saying, I'm missing the birds chirping. It is awfully quiet in here. I'm not.
It is.
I think so. Normally the area has more sound in it. We shut the pump off. We need to bring canaries in here. Once we get baby canaries, then I'll start bringing canaries in. We're going to have a canary farm and a hedgehog farm and aquatic plant farm and a fish farm. And maybe something else. Oh, God. We forgot it.
What?
In the car.
What?
Go get it.
What?
The turtle.
Oh.
Ah, I forgot it. You forgot it too. We both forgot it. I forgot it. He assumes no responsibility. You see that? Did you hear that? Named my first daughter Betta and my second daughter Tetra. They fight all the time. Oh, well. Can two goldfish be happy with a variety of nanofish? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's not nearly enough goldfish mixed in with tropicals. I think they do remarkably well, particularly the really fancy ones. Oscars will rearrange a tank. Well, they certainly can. Jude, I need to give you a wrench. We didn't get a wrench for you. Let's do it. Done. How many Oscars can I place in a 400 liter with a 100-liter shrimp? That's about, what is that? About 75 gallon, 50 gallon, 2 to 3. You could do 3 4-inch ones or so. Oh, Rope Sander just got a turtle tank done. I don't know what I'm going to do with this turtle. I don't know why I bought it. And apparently he can't find it. What about 2 or 3 red-tailed sharks? They're fine. Red-tailed sharks don't bother each other. Why did it leave Florida? I got bored with it and I really wanted, I'm 82. I was 82 then. I'm 83 now. I wanted to get back home. Wanted to get back with family. That's why. Really that simple. I was kind of done with Florida. Colleen, mealtime is dangerous. The better chases the molly, and the molly chases. And we're not getting the turtle back. Did he get lost? Strange. I shouldn't have to go out and rescue John and the turtle. Did you find it? He found it. Very good. We have here, it's a slider. Not a red ear, but a slider. Ta-da. Oh, he's pretty too. Look at that. Oh, there he is. A little slider. Ain't he pretty? Clean too. Let's see. What shall we do with him? Let's put him over here in the new tank. Oh, he'll probably tear it up. He'll probably eat all the plants. But we'll watch him. He's floating. We'll have to put something in there for him to float on. He's swimming. Do you see him swimming? I see him swimming at the far end. He'll come around here in the front in a minute. He's trying to get out the back. Doesn't understand glass. He's swimming to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. He is now on the bottom and out of sight. And he's going under the piece of driftwood. Still trying to get out by going under the driftwood.
What a shot.
So,
50 to 80.
right, 50 to 80. Need a name for him. Put him in the empty tank. Right, got it. Rope says,
So much for shrimp in that tank.
oh, well, he's not going to stay in there. Don't forget to wash your hands. Turtles carry salmonella. Only if they're kept in rotten conditions do they carry salmonella. This fish was not in, this turtle was not in rotten conditions. Anything kept in foul conditions is foul. So,
It should not be eaten.
and should not be even handled. I'm not going to lick my fingers, mind you, but I'm not really worried about it. All right, what's your favorite catfish? I don't have a favorite catfish. Name the turtle red. He does have red on him, doesn't he? How many shrimp can you keep in that coffee pot? If it's full, probably a few thousand. If it's full to the brim. To keep them alive, half a dozen. Don't use algicide. The leaves will come back bigger and better on the valves. Hard to kill them, honest, Logan.
Now tell us why we shouldn't use
Why did that
algicide.
bell go off? What was that?
Maybe it's like, don't use algicide. Why shouldn't you?
I have no idea.
Because it stinks.
I don't even know what
It's
that
the
was
most
referring to.
obnoxious odor possible.
What I was going to do was see if I can find, let me try to find this, see if that was an order from Shopify for somebody wanting plants. Do be sure to check out the plants in our store, in our Shopify. We do have a magnificent, there are well over 100 different kinds of plants listed there now. Very, very nice
And they're
stuff.
growing daily.
We got them growing, right. Oh, what I call the turtle Shelly. Shelly's good. That's a good name. Shelly as in shell, a shelled animal. Shelly. There are 82 orders for the weekend. We're going to be we hit 202 orders last week. We shipped out 202 orders.
And we were short plants.
And we were way shorter plants. Way short. And we ordered extra. So we're ordering a lot more extra now. Somebody suggested calling turtle. Already do that. Can the turtle be kept in the planted plant, says Alexander. We're going to see. My hunch is it'll eat the plants. So probably not a good idea.
expensive turtle food.
What's the link? Go to fatherfish.fish and you get the link for the store, for Discord, and for every other fatherfish thing that exists. Fatherfish.fish is home base for fatherfish. Call the turtle Soupy. Soupy. Give it a people name like Bill. All right, we're down to it here. We are at 8:04. We have run over our limit. A nice turtle. Yes, it is, William. It's a very nice turtle. It's a very pretty turtle. And Rope Sanders sends us a $10 super sticker saying, thanks for answering my ship in the coffee pot question. You're so welcome, Rope. Happy to do so. Was it worth $10? I guess it was. Was to me. P. Diddy. How do I know if my pond creek is okay? Yeah, he asked this question before. If the water doesn't have chemicals or diseases, and how do I know if the fish are healthy? Smell it.
Try the fish alive.
Smell it. Are the fish swimming normally? Do you see dead ones floating or up on the shoreline? Does it have a nasty odor? If it smells okay and there's nothing dead in it,
And the fish are
I would, and the fish are swimming around, I would feel very good about that. Don't expect there to be a problem. Expect it to be perfectly normal and healthy. And 99 times out of 100, you'll be guessing right. But you don't need to guess. Use your senses. Use your eyes. Use your nose. And you can even taste it, although I didn't recommend that.
and listen for the birds.
Listen to the birds, right?
Because the birds feed on fish.
That's right. Well, the birds are there. If it's a healthy, pleasant place that gives you a good feeling, the likelihood is it's just fine, unless there's something completely perverse about you. So you might want to check that out. But other than that, I wouldn't worry about it. And if you do, you might consider why you're worrying about it. That being the issue. Tillman the turtle. Tillman. Good night, all. 2 inches of sand to you and yours. Paul Wyman.
We could name the turtle killifish.
Kelly, right? He will too, probably, if he can. Ah. If your turtle has trouble swimming, name him Bob. Because Bob can't swim. We all know that. We're done. We're done now. We're all done. Can gravel be a good base for a planet tank? No, it cannot. It is a terrible base for a planet tank. How about a marsh? Marshes are the healthiest places there are. Nothing wrong with a marsh. Smell it. If it stinks, don't take anything out of it. If it smells healthy, like dirt or like water, it's going to be fine. Love the hobby, says Savage. Jake the animator. Adding a moderator. We need an animator, Jake. If you want to help us, come on over to Discord. We need animation over there. We've been struggling with it and not getting very far. All right, we're done, guys. Love you all. Where am I? Right there. Love you all. See you Wednesday night. Show and tell Wednesday night. I wouldn't taste it. I mean, I do. I taste it. That's me. I don't recommend it. I have a system that tolerates you name it, that's been nurtured and grown and developed that way for these last 83 years, mind you. You may not be as
Cast iron.
oblivious to pathogens as I am. That wasn't the door. All right, we're done. Love you all. Wednesday night show and tell. Catch the videos. New videos coming out almost every day. We got one today, got one tomorrow. We'll probably have one Tuesday. There will be Wednesday. We'll be here. We'll be here Wednesday night. Thursday, Friday, there'll be a video. Saturday or Friday. So nearly every day. We're cranking them out, guys. We need your support. Get in there and watch them and tell me how much you love them. You're welcome, Jude. Thank you all. Ahmed Hasif needs a wrench. I think I gave him one. Let me look. There he is. He doesn't. He does now. Ahmed now has a wrench. Aha! Bye for now. We're gone. Done. Right there.